And staying on the topic of supporting our veterans, we'd like to welcome Marie Roker-Jones and Barika Edwards. They're both the co-founders of OweYaa, a website that helps match military talent with companies looking to hire. They coordinate project-based internships that help candidates develop more skills while giving employers more flexibility. Let's watch this video.
Hey ladies,
I'm Luke Jenkins.
And I'm Barika Edwards, and we're the founders of OweYaa.
Here at OweYaa, we match veterans and military spouses to project-based internships to help them build future careers.
OweYaa addresses two problems. For companies, it's very costly to onboard a new hire and hope for the best. And for the military community, they face significant hurdles connecting with employers. We solve this with our platform, which saves companies time and money by matching them to the perfect candidate they can hire.
So head over to OweYaa today, that's OweYaa.com, and become a member today.
So welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you. Hi.
So why project-based internships? Tell us about your model.
I'll take that one on. As the future of work has been changing quite a bit on demand, talent has been, it's growing as a talent, as a thing that employers are seeking, as a thing that customers are seeking. We're taking it to the next step, which is micro internships that are project-based, that are performance-based. This already exists for civilians, so we're now bringing it so that the military community can access that.
Micro internships. How micro? Like 1 month?
Well, our internships last typically 3 months, but sometimes a micro internship can last a month. And the whole point of the micro internship is that you have access to a wider talent pool of really exceptional folks that you can work with. And with ours, you can try out these people, and then if you see that there is a great match and a cohesion with your team, and if they fulfill your goals, then you can hire them. The other thing about micro internships is that it's performance driven, so it's not like go get me that coffee, or like sometimes I've seen internships with my previous organizations where you're going into the office and they're like, okay, I want you to do this, this, and this. And the next day, it's like something completely different. But it's not really as focused on...
No kind of coherence.
Yes, exactly.
So tell us, how'd you come up with this idea? So there's 3 co-founders, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's 3 of you. 2 of you are here today. Where did this idea come from?
Well, this idea came from the fact that it's a difficult transition, and a lot of times, so for me as a military spouse, one of the challenges was every time my husband was deployed, I kind of had to put my career on hold or just take a step back. And because of that, a lot of us who are highly skilled, who have education, we miss out, or we have gaps on our resumes because we're taking breaks, or there's, or the military spouses who move around, they're moving around a lot. And veterans, many of them have specific skills that civilian recruiters or civilian employers don't always understand. So helping them to make that transition into civilian careers through internships, it's a win-win for both, because the employers get to see how veterans and military spouses are valuable assets, and they get to see what careers they want to enjoy. What do they want to do once they're out of the military? What am I good at, and how can I combine those skills to make a great career for myself?
Yeah.
Very interesting. So it's for military spouses as well.
Yes, yes, and that's what makes us
unique. That's a very interesting little tidbit there.
Yeah, and that's what makes us unique, I think, is because a lot of models only serve veterans or active duty. We don't turn away anyone who's in the military. Currently, we provide you the service with getting internships.
Or as a spouse.
As well as a spouse, yeah.
So are these paid internships?
Yes.
That's very important, because there's a lot of free internships out there.
They don't count. Experience is good, but you need remuneration.
So how did you approach the employers with this exotic idea of like, hey, like, we're these random people who like want to set military people up with micro internships? Were people skeptical, or was it pretty easy to convince them?
Well, I think one of the things is that we target growing companies. So we hear a lot about Starbucks or Amazon and everyone having these military hiring initiatives. So we wanted to target companies that are growing, companies that need talent but maybe have a hard time with hiring and retention. So we're very specific with who we go after, and really nurturing those relationships and telling them how we tailor match, getting to find out, their culture, what their needs are. One company that we recently met with told us they're looking for an intern that's kind, considerate. Like, you don't hear that, right? So these are the things that we're exactly.
It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
And these are the things that we're able to do because we're able to match and say, hey, who in our pool of candidates would fit in this company? And it also gives them an opportunity to become a company that embraces military talent. So they're not, it's not just the big companies, but the growing companies too.
Yeah, because we focus mostly on the tech and creative sector. And as you know, those are the sectors that are they're becoming as big as IBM, which took hundreds of years, and now it's taking them 10 years to pretty much dominate the whole entire market. So we're targeting those folks specifically because they're underserving the military community is being underserved in their population when we look at the diversity numbers as well. And so we need to push and encourage and create a solution that fits the diversity inclusion measures in a different way of really looking at how do I bring this scrappy veteran in who's just as scrappy as me. Yes, he may be in his 30s, but he's been doing scrappy since he was 18 years in the service. So it's really important that diversity inclusion is happening because I see that we're gonna have a jobs bubble that's gonna burst and is gonna cause an economic problem for the whole country.
So is it easier to convince employers to take military people because they also have healthcare benefits? Is that part of the, I mean, beyond the training, there's some specific healthcare benefits a lot of times.
Incentives.
Right,
Yeah,
There's
they don't
like
think
a
about it.
package deal that you get there.
Yeah, surprisingly, they don't. I think some of the ones we've approached and spoken to really just want to give back and really want to, and really understand that this population, what they can offer. And because, as Barika mentioned, we look at it as we want to help create inclusive workplaces, really so that these tech companies or growing companies can really see what our talent can bring to them. And especially, and we really want to make sure that women veterans are coming to our included and coming to our internships too.
The majority of our platform are women military users, actually. So it's a really diverse platform. We have people with master's degrees. We have a guy that's a data scientist. He's a data scientist with a PhD. We have military spouses that have multiple degrees, as well as your people with BAs or people that have associates. And we are helping them to build those skills and to get ready to launch into their civilian career.
Do you have geographic hotspots because it's tech? Like, is it a lot of California, a lot of...
Yeah. We have a lot of users from California that are on the military side. We've been targeting the New York area. We have a client in Florida. So we're expanding to those markets where there are more veterans and military spouses and active service members, because that's where...
Right.
And California has the largest population, so obviously it's a perfect fit for the Valley and for Los Angeles.
Do
growing
people
tech
from
area.
the military bring a unique skill set to that? I mean, just being in the military, is that an asset? And if it is, what are like some aspects of that?
Some of it, I mean, people tend to focus on stuff like leadership and although those are great, we look at teamwork, we look at the ability to be flexible and fluid, the ability to strategize, to plan. A lot of them have worked on, cybersecurity or different aspects, so they have various talents and skills that they bring.
Yeah.
But what's most
We have
important
even
is
intelligence guys that are really great analytical forecasters. We have people that manage multi-billion-dollar assets. These are guys that are going to be great for your finance roles, HR roles, Operations roles, we have a spouse that has clearance. So really, all of it, everything that you have in the civilian world, it's been done in the military world. So these people are bringing experience already into that job. But some careers in the military do not translate. So instead of trying to make that career that they had in the military, which is like this square peg, and then try to shove it into the civilian hole of life and skills, we take those gaps and then we fulfill them with education or with an internship that they can build that skill that they need, so it's an easier transition.
Well,
Exactly.
thank you so much for coming. We are out of time. I am Mr. Timekeeper, but thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
It's
We
great to hear
appreciate
about your organization.
Thank
That was,
you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We owe our veterans.